One member of parliament, whose home is in a small Free State town, is somehow traveling to Umtata again and again and again, except he has never actually ever been to Umtata before in his life. What started out as an accounting red flag in 2002 quietly unraveled into one of the biggest political scandals South Africa's democratic parliament has faced. This is the story of Travelgate, how a broken voucher system, sloppy oversight, opportunistic travel agents, and questionable MP behavior all collided and nearly brought Parliament down to its knees. Wait, what happened? The story of Travelgate quietly began in 2002 inside Parliament's finance offices. Staff processing travel vouchers noticed something that didn't quite make sense. There's this one MP whose home is in Vrede but appeared to be traveling repeatedly to Umtata, except when he is questioned in early 2003, he calmly explains that he has never even been to Umtata before in his life. That single inconsistency set off a chain reaction. When Parliament contacted the travel agency involved, their responses didn't fully explain this irregularity. That's when South African Airways was then asked to conduct a broader probe. And what they found only deepened suspicions. SAA identified other travel agents with similar questionable patterns, and suddenly the finance office wasn't just looking at one MP or one unusual trip, they were looking at potential systemic abuse. Parliament launched a full forensic audit with PricewaterhouseCoopers and called in the police and the National Directorate of Public Prosecutions. And once the books were examined closely, the scale became stark. Because according to Parliament's own statements, about 13 million rand in questionable transactions had gone through the travel voucher system. These weren't limited to flights. Auditors uncovered charges for car hire, hotel stays, and even foreign exchange transactions, all billed to Parliament. And in some cases, linked to MPs who said they never even used any of those services. The Speaker of Parliament at the time, Baleka, said that the voucher system itself had serious loopholes. There were no proper controls over the issuing or cancelling of those vouchers. There were no reliable processes to validate invoices or to even confirm whether certain trips that were billed to Parliament had even taken place or not. Some MPs said they had never used certain travel agencies at all, yet those agencies had invoiced in their names. Inside Parliament, on the other hand, the scandal triggered intense debate. Opposition parties warned that Parliament's reputation was at risk unless the guilty were punished and the innocent then cleared. Some MPs called it the most serious crisis to hit the legislature since democracy began. Others warned against publicly naming MPs before convictions, noting that 22 MPs' names had been given to their parties but not released to the public. Within the debates, accusations, objections, and even tensions about racial framing erupted. But across the political spectrum, one theme kept coming up, that this was the people's money. Every rand that went into fraudulent travel claims could have been used for something better, building houses, building schools, or even funding the police for safety. Speaker Baleka then emphasized that whether MPs were knowingly involved or not, the system had created those opportunities for fraud, and Parliament needed to start closing those gaps so that it could start rebuilding the trust. For once, South Africans witnessed something rare in the political scandals: consequences, because in this case, dozens of MPs, actual lawmakers, were charged. Many of them did plead guilty, some had to pay hefty fines, and a few actually received suspended sentences or criminal records. It wasn't the perfect ending, but for a brief moment, accountability wasn't just a theory. And while MPs maintained they were implicated without their knowledge, the scandal still left a long-standing shadow over Parliament, and one that actually forced a rethink of how public funds are monitored, audited, and protected. Because when trust is broken at the very top, rebuilding takes far more and longer than just cancelling a few vouchers.